First of all, what you're going to need to put your bike together is a size 5mm Allen wrench, a 4mm Allen wrench, a 17mm open end wrench, a 15mm open end wrench, and a 10mm open end wrench. Now when you open your bike, you're going to find this bag in the bottom of the box. These are your front fender stays. So when you take your front fender stays out, there's going to be a baggie in there with the nuts and bolts to hold the front fender stays to your fender. I've gone ahead and done that and mounted the front fender stays onto the fender. Now put your fender aside for a moment and let's take the handlebars and mount them onto the front neck of the bike. This uses the 4mm Allen wrench. Take the front of the neck off, mount your handlebars, put the neck back in place. Now that you've got the handlebars in place, you can adjust them to whatever height you would like and go ahead and tighten them down. Okay, now we're going to mount the headlight. Take off the nut off the bottom of the light, put it in the light bracket, put the washer and the nut back in place. And just tighten it up hand tight for now. Now we're going to mount your front brake. On the front brake there are two bolts. You want to unloosen, take you off the bolts. The brake will be placed on the inside of the brake mount. Replace your nuts. Screw them down. Using your 5mm Allen wrench, go ahead and tighten those on. Make sure they're good and tight. So now we're going to mount the front wheel. Lifting the bike up, bring your wheel in, align it onto your front brake, and let it drop in place. Now that your front wheel is in place and the brake is aligned, now we're going to mount your front fender. The front fender will come with this bolt and nut. This is what holds your front fender to your fork. We're going to place the fender onto the wheel, taking your nut and your bolt, coming through all the way, put your bolt on the back side. Do not tighten. Now, your fender stays will mount to the axle of the front wheel. So pull your fender stays out and they will mount on first. Then your safety clip will go on. Then your washer. Then your nut. And the same on the other side. Now that you have your fender stays in place, let's go ahead and tighten up the top nut and bolt using 5mm Allen wrench and a 10mm open end wrench. Tighten that. Now we're going to go back down and tighten up your nuts for the axle. This is a 15mm wrench, so we're going to tighten these on. You want to tighten these pretty tight because this is your front end, but don't tighten them tight enough to where you start to bend this arm. Okay, we're done. Now that we have all that complete, let's go back and retighten your headlight. This is a 17 millimeter wrench. You can tighten this just about as tight as you can. Make sure it's square and you're set. Now let's align your handlebars. By loosening the 3 bolts on your neck, you can adjust your steering. So what we want to do is we want to take the handlebars and align them straight with the front wheel. After you've done that, tighten up the top one, which pulls everything together. And you can get that pretty tight. Then go ahead and tighten up your side bolts, which will stop it from spinning. Now, hold your bike level, grab your front brake, which is on your left side, pull it, and make sure the bike doesn't rock back and forth, like it is nice and tight. If it isn't nice and tight, go ahead and unloosen these again and tighten this up tighter. Perfect. Now we're going to adjust your front brake, which is on your left side. So, down here on your brake caliper, what we're going to do is we're going to adjust your front brake. Using your 5 millimeter Allen wrench, we're going to undo this bolt so it'll drop down. That's loosening your cable. So if you grab the bottom of your cable and pull this lever up with your thumb, hold the cable with the other finger, and pull it up all the way, tighten it, that'll adjust your cable. So now if you come up here to your handlebar, to your brake, pull your brake as hard as you can. That's going to stretch your cable, and that should be perfect for down here.